Hey guys, it's Jason the X with SCNS Live. Got another review for you, the last of the Deluxe Prime Transformers Prime Beast Hunters figures. And this is Smokescreen. There's some noise in the background. That's just my son. He is insane. Like his old man, so it's all good. Anyway, but this is Deluxe Class Smokescreen. Probably the best one out of the bunch, but he does have some problems, which he's just a little fiddly on the transformation. But we're going to get into that in a little bit. So anyway, let's take a look at his packaging. Transformers Prime Beast Hunters. Electro Net Launcher included. Smokescreen is an Autobot. Let's go take a look at his tech specs here. And then let's go ahead and look at his bio. Well, a short bio there. And Shadow Quill Armor. Yeah. But we'll get into that anyway. So before we go any further, let's go ahead and do another Tales of the Beast Hunters. Because this guy is leading into Shockwave, so there you go. And yeah, the Shockwave review will be right after this, so bear with me. Bear with the story. We're getting there. We're getting there. So anyway, here is Smokescreen in his car mode, which is kind of different from what we've seen on the show because it's got this thing, but all this is removable. Well, before we remove it, we're going to go ahead and compare him to Cliff Jumper, and he is a pretty good size. I like this. This is of course the first edition Terracon, but good scale with the other Autobots. Well, let's go ahead and get into some of his accessories. He has this Electro Net Launcher, which is a nice little blaster. You can, and it doesn't really fly that far because this thing on here actually does come off, but you can use it without it. And the missile's much more satisfying when that's not on there. But you do have this Electro Net Launcher, which I kind of like this. Like if you put it in here, it kind of looks like a battle axe. Only it's not very strong. Doesn't hold up very well. Well, if I hold it like that. I was trying to get him to hold it because I thought it could be like a battle axe, but it doesn't. The other thing this Electro Net Launcher does is it's got this, it's made of that soft plastic, and you can tab it in and make like a little, get on there, come on. So you got like a little capture thing you can put around a beast's neck or something. So yeah, you know, little playability there. Like I say, it is that soft plastic, but yeah, not too big on it. And now he does have this stuff on his hood. Before we get into the car mode, you'll see how this is just gives him a little extra armor, little ramming spikes on the front, you know, in case he needs to bump somebody off the road. But the good thing is this comes off. It's just held in with these two little tabs on the side, and the rest is just kind of held in by this part here. Without all that, you've got a pretty awesome looking car mode here. Yeah, it rolls pretty well. I mean, he's on my thing, so he does on my little studio, so it doesn't roll very well here, but he does on flat surfaces. I kind of wish there were some painted rims in there, but this guy is getting some paint, and you're going to find out why very soon. But otherwise, yeah, there's no paint on the back. But he does have these nice vents and everything. I might actually wait for Repro Labels to release something, but his I have two of them, so I might practice on one just to see what happens. But yeah, it's a nice, I wonder who's messaging me. That's going to go off during this review. Anyway, but yeah, you do have some nice paint apps here. There's a little chip right there. That came with the figure. But yeah, nice little car mode. Very accurate to the screen model, I think. So yeah, I'm on board with this. Now, as far as this fiddly transformation, I'm going to do something that I rarely do. I'm going to put this guy back into car mode after this, and I'm going to show you why. Because I want to show you the proper way to get those fiddly arms in. The first thing you do is just go ahead and take this down. And this piece right here is actually going to become his chest piece. So we'll just go ahead and remove that for now. Oops, didn't mean to hit the camera. Alright, so you want to take this and split it. This is the easy part. And take these and flip them down. Those are going to become his feet. And you take the shin and slide it around. There's a little tab there that should go in there. There we go. So it kind of goes right in the center here. There's this little slot between the two, and you just rotate it around. There we go. Now, here's where things get a little tricky. See, his arms are very fiddly, and you have to put them in a certain way or else they're not going to fit in. So, you want to take this part and kind of untab it a little bit. And what I like to do is take this piece out first. You want to take the hood and kind of bring it up and over as you do the first arm. You bring it down and you turn it out. And you just want to take that and extend it. There's a little hinge joint right there. Take this one, do the same thing. Now, if I have difficulty getting this guy back to vehicle mode, bear with me, because he is very fiddly. You want to take these and bring them down. So now you got this exploded kind of chunk of car. But if you look between the rims here, those little slots correspond with this right here. They correspond with this slot. So you want to bring those in and just tab them in. He's pretty easy getting them from vehicle mode to robot mode. And some people said, you know, I haven't had any problems with him. Okay, that's great, but I've heard a couple other reviewers say he's very fiddly and all this other stuff. So you're going to bring his head up, and we're going to bring the doors up as well and fold in these windows. And they're actually going to tab into the back of the neck here. There's a little two slot here. A little slot separated by a little middle piece. Alright. So we got that. You want to turn his chest around, bring this up a little bit. And here's his chest piece, and there's a little tab there. It's going to go into that slot there. So there you go. And last but not least, you want to get his shoulders kind of up into the pauldrons. Kind of cover up some of that ball joint there. And he does have quite a bit of car part on the back of his arms, which you're just going to, well, on the front of his arms, which you're just going to turn back. There's a little hinge right here. Make it go all the way to the back. And there you have, get that right here. Ugh. Kind of hate that thing. You have Smokescreen in his robot mode. And, oop, that came out there. Let's see if I can get that back in there. Oh, probably a good idea to do. Well, hang on. Why won't you go up in there? Oh, I didn't have the head turned down enough so I could fit that up in there. So now this should tab in right there. Okay, there we go. Now I got him. The first thing you want to notice, his paint apps are off. They are way off, especially the head. There's like blue here where they're supposed to be white, and there's blue where they're supposed to be red. I don't know. This is going to take some delicate painting. I'm thinking I'm going to get some test doors and just go ahead and go for it. But let's get a look at that face there. He does have that Smokescreen smirk, and I like that. It's a good head mold, but the paint is wrong. The paint is very wrong. He does have his car chest. The front of the car is the chest. And he seems a little bit beefier than he should be, but I like this guy. I really do. I like the door wings. I did not get the knockout remold that was, you know, supposed to be Smokescreen because I just did not like it. Comparison shot. Here he is with Prime RC. You get a basic size. Of course, she's a lot bigger than she should be, but it's cool. I like Smokescreen. His height is not too bad. Here's a comparison to Prime, where he just dwarfs him. That's the way it should be. I like that. Now, onto this armor here. You can peg this onto him to give him, I guess, a beastie look. It's got two holes on either side here that correspond to these two tabs here. So I'm going to go ahead and get that on there. Crud. Get on there. I think the only reason I was holding on to this thing is for the review, and now that it's done, this thing might just go in the trash. So yeah, there you go. This is how he comes in package. He's packaged in robot mode. The other thing is he has these two tabs at the top here. They're hooks. They're, you know, and he has these two holes here. So I was thinking that you could bring this down onto his shoulders and just really look awkward. I think I've seen some, I saw proto shots or something where he had this on when we were first kind of speculating about it. So yeah, it can fit like that, and it looks a little bit better instead of him just having a big halo ring around his head, but it's still there. But overall, not too, I really don't care about this piece. I could care less. The good thing is, it comes off. And you can throw it away, get rid of it, because it's crop. And his blaster does fit into his hand. Let me go ahead and put that thing back together. So yeah, he's got a nice little blaster. I do like his hand cannons on the show. Those are a little bit better. He can shoot his missile there. Booyakasha. But does make a nice little blaster without that missile on there. As far as his articulation, you've got some down here in the ankle. It'll tilt back and forth, so you got a little bit there. The legs have a 90 degree, that's about it. Got kind of a twist in the ball joint up here. That just keeps popping out. Ugh. Also, these, I believe these are the wrong color as well, but one of them is getting painted. Because I do have two of them, because I was going to paint one. I'm scared of screwing it up. Waist articulation, yes. And even though he has these big shoulders in the way, he does have a ball jointed shoulder. That does tend to pop out, especially during transformation, which you're about to see. Got a nice little ratchet joint there. No wrist articulation. And his head is on a slight ball joint, but you can't really get anything out of this, just that. So yeah, Smokescreen, nice figure. I'm glad that they gave us a Smokescreen done right, because I was going to eventually break down and get that knockout, and I'm glad I didn't. I still might. There's a toy show here in Richardson, so I might go tomorrow, see if my good buddy Agent Adam from the TFW boards has any left. So anyway, that's Smokescreen in his robot mode, and yes, he's pretty nice. Could use a little bit of paint. That's fixable. I'm going to go get me some test oars and really try to make a show and look for that video later. Now, here's where things get tricky, and here's where you might hear some cursing from old Jason the X. But we're going to go ahead and turn this guy back to car mode. Let's go ahead and get the easy part out of the way. And that's just folding these legs down and pinning them back together. Now, I want to twist at the waist. Let's bring this down. And his head, you want to make sure these doors are already tilted sideways and bring the windows up, because you're going to have a little bit of difficulty bringing them down if they're not. So you're going to have to make sure this is there. Don't you play with me now. Okay, let's go. Well, dang it. See, this part is like keeping these other parts in. So we're going to do this. Alright, I want to remove the wheels from those hinges inside, or those pegs inside, and bring this down and get that as flat as it can be. Alright. So we've got the doors down. So now we want to put these arms in. I like to go with this side first. Collapse it back down. And that's going to happen. I've had this thing pop off at the elbow, especially at the ball jointed shoulders, because there's not much, it don't take much to pop these ball joints out. Now, I want to get that back in there, and you want this part to come over the front of the forearm. And see, I'm already kind of messing it up here, because like I said, it's got to be in a particular way, or else it just won't go. So, I think that's it. Yeah. So make sure the hands are on the outside, and you want to bend it at the elbow backwards. So you see that? Once you do that, you just want to peg the window back into the side window. See, I don't think I got this thing in right. I want to make sure that that shoulder joint in there is facing that way. So we can go ahead and bring these together too. Some people say it's easier to get them in without these pegged together, but it's whatever you prefer, really. So anyway, you want to peg that tab onto there and peg the window in. And there you go. That's kind of, I think I've got it. Actually, I shouldn't even bring this up yet. I like to bring that up last, to the back end of the car. So let's repeat that over here. Fold it in, rotate the wheel around. You want that ball joint on the inside. Go ahead and start bringing this over his forearm and bending the elbow backwards. And yes, popped off again. His shoulder joints are really loose. Anyway, bring this down and in. There you go. Tab the window back into it, and then you want to take the hood and just kind of crunch all that together. Make sure these tabs go into the sides. And it's always something with this guy, trying to get him back into car mode. Alright, I think I got it. And then just snap the back end back onto it. And see, even now, it looks like he's not like pegged together all the way, because there's gaps, which I just kind of fiddle with it a little bit, and yet there's still kind of a gap on the side. You got it. He's really persnickety, to use a word that my grandmother would use. But there you go. That's him back to car mode. Now I rarely do that, but this seemed like a special case where at least one time show him going back to car mode, because he's a good robot. I like it. It's very reminiscent of, you know, some of the movie stuff, but he is a good car. I like him. He goes around with me a lot. I usually take him to work, but I do like the Smokescreen guy. He's a good addition to the Prime figures, and he's a decent figure. So if you see him, pick him up. I'd say he's probably the best one out of that whole out of the whole Series 2 Deluxes, and I highly recommend him. But that's it for me, guys. Watch scnslive.com every Thursday from 7 to 9. Yeah, something like that, whenever we're actually on time. And check me out. Follow me on Twitter at JasonTheX. And until next time, guys, keep on nerding, and I'll catch you later.